Hey guys, welcome to Learn Python with Kids videos. In previous video, we have introduced how to use input and variable. In this video, we will show you another important concept in coding, the loop. We use loop to do repeat work. It happens more often than you are aware of. Let's see our first story. Barry Allen, you are late again. I just saved Central City this morning. As a punishment, give me a report with 100 lines of I promise I will not be late again. I hope you can help me with coding. Let's see what we can do to get Barry off the hook. Let's get the basic idea about the for loop first. The code of the for loop is for index in range, number of times to repeat, and with a column. Let's see the sample. If we want to repeat 3 times, we code for index in range 3. In the first loop, we will have the index value 0 and the index 1 for the second loop, 2 for third loop. Let's try to run the code like this together. The loop should repeat 5 times and print one line with index value per loop. Let's try it. Let's create a new file. Test 9. For I in range 5, column. Print the index I is I. Let's run it with breakpoint. In the first loop, the I is 0. The index I is 0. Second loop, 1. Third loop, 2. 3. 4. And end. You can see the variable I changes in every loop from 0 to 4. Let's add another print here. And try the code. 0 stars, 1 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars. This new line is also within the loop, which prints in every loop. So we can see the loop includes both lines. What if we remove the indentation of this line and try again? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then star. In Python, the same code block is grouped by the same indentation. If it doesn't have the same indentation, it doesn't belong to the for loop block. So be careful how you want to make the code run together or not. We have the coding skill to help Flash now. In our code, we need to create a for loop to repeat 100 times. Then we print out I promise I will not be late again in each loop. Instead of writing for 100 lines, 2 lines of code like this can do it. Let's try it out. Let's just update the file for Flash. We change 5 to 100 and we print I promise I will not be late again. Actually we can print the I plus 1 just to count how many times we printed. Let's run the code. I promise. I promise. So promise 3. I promise 4. 5. How about we remove the breakpoint and continue. 100. Here we go. 100 lies punishment is done. You are welcome, Flash. Let's see who else needs our help. Hi, Elsa. What can we do for you this time? Thank you for last time. Can we have more layers of hearts instead of just one? Something like this. No problem. Let's see what we can do this time. This is the code we made for Elsa in last video. The input function gets what Elsa wants to say. The len function gets the number of characters. And we use Unicode to define the heart shape. Then we print 3 lines so Elsa's words are surrounded by one layer of hearts. Just a little code change with for loop should be able to make it multiple layers. Let's remove the prints first. First, we need to ask how many layers she wants, and convert the input string to an integer. Then we define a for loop to repeat layer number of times. Then print out the layers above Elsa's words. Then we print out the Elsa's words. And then repeat the loop to print out the layers after the words. Let's try the code together. Let's create a new file. Test 10. And copy the code from the video details below. Let's start debugging with breakpoint on the first line. The first 3 lines of code are the same as before. We get the words. And then we get the length of the word, which is 9. And we define the heart shape. Then we need to get how many layers Elsa wants. Let's say 2 layers for now. Layer is 2. Then we can use a for loop to repeat 2 times before the words. And then we print the word itself with a layer of hearts on both sides. And then we use another for loop to print the layers after the words. Here we go. Let's try it again. Elsa says, coding is so much fun. How many layers? 5. Here we go. Well done. Let's see who is the next to help. Hey Chuck, do you know what is the result of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5? Easy, it's 15. How about 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus all the way to 1 million? Ah! Let's help Charlie Brown to solve this problem. Let's create a new file. 1,000,000 seems a really big number to add to. Luckily, it's not hard at all when you know how to use the loop in coding. Let's make the code. First, we define a variable to keep the result. Then we define a loop, for loop, to repeat 1,000,000 times. And in each loop, we add the index plus 1 to the summary. And after the loop, we print out the result. Not hard at all, right? Let's try it. Summary is 0. I is 0, which is the first loop. Summary is 1. Second loop, 3. Third loop, 6. Fourth loop, 10. And if we remove the breakpoint, the answer is this big number. Let's try another way to define the for loop. Instead of providing only the stop number, we can provide both start and the stop number. 1, 2, 1,000,001. And here, we just add the I. In this case, the loop will start from 1 instead of 0 and end at 1,000,000. So we will count 1 to 1,000,000. Let's try it. For the first loop, I is 1, summary is 1. Second loop, I is 2, summary is 3. Third loop, 3, 6, 6, 10. And the result is the same answer. We loop the same 1,000,000 times, but now the I is the loop number instead of the index from 0. Either way can solve the problem. The second way is a little easier to read. Well done, we saved Charlie Brown's day. Let's see our next program in this video. Let's use our program to draw a triangle. It's a 4 lines tall triangle. Let's think about how we can do it. We will print 1 star for line 1, 2 stars for line 2, 3 stars for line 3, 4 stars for line 4. There is a pattern. Interesting. We have helped Flash, Elsa, and Charlie Brown. This code should make sense to you. For I in range 1 to 5, print star I times. Let's try the program now. Let's create a new file. For I in range 1 to 5, print star times I. That's it. The first loop I is 1, 1 star. The final loop I is 4, 4 stars. One, 2, 3, 4, and end. Good. Let's make a triangle with a given number tall. Let's add an input. Tall equal to input. How tall is the triangle? And then we cast the input string into an integer. And here, the end will be tall plus 1. Okay, let's try it. How tall is the triangle? Let's say 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Let's run the program again. This time, let's draw a big one. Let's say 80. Move the breakpoint. Phew. That's a big one. Way to go. Again, we have covered a lot in this video. If the range function only has one parameter, it will return numbers from 0 to the stop number minus 1. If the range function is provided with two parameters, the first one is the start number and the second one is the stop number. The basic for loop is for item in range number. The loop body needs to be indented. And the loop body repeats for each item. Thanks for watching this video. We will use the for loop to make some more cool stuff in next video together.